In today's video, I'll be sharing my income report for March, as well as discussing the latest news and updates in the world of Amazon KDP. Hello home bosses, if you're new here, my name is Nouri Yacobi from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to make money online with self-publishing. And if you're interested in learning more about low-content book publishing, or you want to keep up with the latest industry insights, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Alright, well, let's dive into my March income report. This past month has been an exciting one for my low-content book business, and I'm excited to share my results with you. Remember that my income is not typical, but I'm sharing my journey to hopefully inspire and help others succeed in the world of low-content book publishing. So, as you can see, I have sold 2,977 books in March, and that is based on 761 books in total. Now, the total number of my books sometimes changes because I do unpublish old books sometimes. I have unpublished some dated planners, for example, that are dated like from 2019 or 2020. So I do unpublish those kind of things, and therefore the number can vary. I always say that the number of books you have is not important because it depends on the quality of your books, not the quantity. But I know that some of you are interested in knowing how many books in total I have, and that number is 761 at the moment. So out of those books, I have sold 2,977 copies, and my best day was on the 15th of March, where I sold 145 books in total. So let's just see what that translates to in royalties. And the total royalties for March are $9,511.26. And again, the 15th of March was my best day, which was $476.82. And the low content books that I have are prompted journals, planners, undated planners now more than dated planners. I have a mixture of books that are logbooks, journals, other low content books, and I also have children's books, but my main income does come from low content books. And like I said, it's a variety of logbooks, journals. The journals that I have are prompted journals, so it's not just lined paper, but they do have instructions in them. And I also have a lot of undated planners, and they are all niched to specific tasks. And I also have notebooks, and funny enough, they are starting to sell. I do advertise them. And they are in a particular niche, so the cover design is targeted at a particular niche. And I also have some medium content books where there is more content, like for example activity books, books in educational niches. So all of them together created my royalties of $9,511 for March, and I'm very happy with that result because I think I mentioned this before in my other videos. I was expecting my royalties to drop down significantly in the first quarter of this year, but they seem to have been pretty steady, so that's really good. I do have to take away my ad spend from this figure, so let's have a look and see what that is. So my total spending on ads was $3,113, and that is quite high. That was more than last month. And I think that is because at the moment ads are more expensive to run, for me anyway. I don't know. I think it all depends on the niches. It depends on the kind of books that you have. But I've got some books in quite competitive niches, and I've noticed that my ads, for them to sell more books, I had to increase my bids. So that's why my ad spend is a lot higher this month. The ACOS for this month was 28.25%. So it's on the high side, but it's not making a loss. And as long as I make a good profit on my books, I don't mind spending more in ads because I now have the budget to spend ads. But I remember at the beginning when I first started, I didn't have the budget to run ads. So my ad spending had to be very low. In the first year, I didn't even run any ads. So depending on where you are on your KDP journey, if you're just at the beginning, don't worry too much about ads. Make books in niches where there is not too much competition. And then once you have the budget to spend on ads, you can then experiment a bit more. I'm still going to try and decrease my ad spend in the next few months if I can. But like I said, I don't mind at the moment because I think that my income is dependent on ads, and I don't mind spending this amount to generate the over $9,000 that I generated in March. So let's have a look at my net royalty. So we have to take away the total spending from the total royalties, and this leaves a net profit of $6,397.85. I'm really happy with that result for March because, like I said, I expected March not to be such a good month. Historically, my quarter ones have always been much lower, of course, especially than quarter four, but also compared to the rest of the year. So let's see what happens this year. At the moment, I'm happy with my results, but I will also say that I didn't publish any new books in March because I'm still working on my branding course and also the book that I'm writing. I started writing my book last year, and that gave me the idea for the course. So I'm working on both right now. So I'm working on the branding course and writing a book about branding for publishers. And if you remember, I made a video months ago in which I said I regretted not making more books in 2021 because I was concentrating on creating my children's book course, and the same thing is happening now. I think you can only do so much, and I've had to learn to prioritize different tasks. So right now, finishing writing my book and creating my branding for self-publishers course is my top priority, followed by creating my weekly YouTube videos, of course, and making more books. So I'm hoping that once I'm less busy with the course and my written book, I will then start making more low content books. I started my publishing journey with low content books, and you know that if you've been following me on this channel, and they are relatively quick to create compared to, for example, writing children's books. But I found that writing a whole non-fiction book is taking more time than I thought. And like I said, I started last year, and this is how it should be. A non-fiction or a fiction book, of course, takes a lot longer than low content. And I'm sure that those of you writing fiction or non-fiction have the same problem that I have. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I keep rewriting things. It takes me ages to finish one page. So I will have to remind myself to take my own advice on board, which is done is better than perfect. So once the book and course are finished, I will start creating more low content books again, and I will let you know about the progress of everything. So overall, I'm very pleased with my March income, and I can already see that April is going to be a little bit lower, but that's the nature of this business. Some months are better than others. So this is just to show you what can be achieved with creating low content books and children's books. And of course, this took me quite a long time to achieve. So none of this is an overnight success. I've been publishing since 2019, so at the beginning my income reports looked very different. So I hope this is encouraging you rather than discouraging you. That is not why I make these videos, but I hope to encourage you so you can see what is possible. So now let's move on to the latest Amazon KDP news and updates. First of all, let's talk about Canva. Last week's drama doesn't seem to have calmed down, and there's still a lot of confusion regarding their licensing. And a few of you have reached out to me and asked to further explain things. And unfortunately, as I'm not legally trained and I don't know exactly what graphics you're using, I can't comment on individual situations. My advice is that you contact Canva if you still have any doubts. and explain to them exactly what you're using and what you're using it for. Remember that Canva is first and foremost a design tool. You don't have to use their images if their licensing is not clear, and you can use images and elements from other sites and just use Canva as a design tool if you're confused about their licensing. There are lots of design tools out there, and when I first started, I used PowerPoint, so there are alternatives if you feel unsure. And I mentioned this in my last video. Check out Tangent Templates. They have an amazing design tool which is specifically designed for publishing books on Amazon KDP, and their license is very clear, because I have to admit that Canva's license can sound a little bit confusing if you're not used to designer language. So if you're not sure about it, just use it as a design tool and find your images elsewhere. So moving on to the changes that Amazon KDP has made to their author central pages. I'm sure you have noticed the changes Amazon KDP made to their author central pages back in March. Some of the features we had previously, like posting photos and videos and blog feeds, that has sadly disappeared on US author pages. But what I'm excited about is the Amazon Followers feature. So the Amazon Followers feature is a new addition, and it shows you how many followers your pen name has. That's if you have created an author central page, and I really recommend that you create author central pages for the pen names that you sell the most books in. And by the way, you can find any news on your community pages. So if you go onto your bookshelf or on your KDP dashboard, if you click on community, you can see recent announcements here and you can read through them, and this is where you find any changes that Amazon makes. So I have looked at the new Amazon Followers feature, which I noticed a few weeks ago, and I really love this feature because it shows you how many followers you have for your pen names. And I realized that I had over 2,400 followers on one of my pen names, and that is amazing because that is one of my brands that I am heavily branding and promoting on social media and other places, and I think it's working. So I really recommend that you set up your author pages for your low content books and you start branding your books as well, and you can then check how many followers you have. I would be really interested in knowing whether you have checked out your followers. Let me know in the comments and tell us how many followers you have on Amazon, because I think this is a really good feature to have. Remember that your followers will get notifications of any new books that you publish, so this should give your sales a little bit of a boost. And in my case, I think it's definitely working because the pen name that I've got all those followers for is the pen name that sells the most of my books. So that is proof for me that this is working. So they're also saying that today we help Amazon customers discover your next book, deal opportunities, and help them learn more about you through book recommendations. So this is another feature that they've added, and it tells you all about it here, book recommendations, and basically it gives you the guidelines that you have to adhere to, what you can and what you can't do, but you can allow you to connect with Amazon customers and your followers by providing recommendations about books in your catalog and books from other authors that you enjoy. So this is really interesting. This is something I'm going to look into a little bit more, and I think that Amazon have actually improved their author pages. Even though they have removed some of the features, I think the features that they have added are actually really good. And the other bit of news I have for you is that the How to Draw app that I recommended in one of my previous videos has actually now really improved massively, and you can even create how to draw books using PNGs to create the step-by-step instructions. So that app is constantly in review and being improved, and once I have finished writing my book and creating my course, I will start making some books with that app and show you also, and I'll make some videos to show you how I create them, and hopefully you'll find that interesting. And I'm really looking forward to making medium content books. I know medium content is a made-up term. It doesn't really exist, but I think we're all using it now to describe books that are a little bit more than just simple notebooks, where there's more content, like, for example, puzzle books, coloring books, and those kind of books. And the how to draw books are, in my opinion, definitely medium content, if not high content. So I think that I will start making some more of those, show you how I'm making them. So those of you that have bought the app can follow my videos as well. And maybe some of you who don't know about the app might find it interesting as well and start creating some how to draw books, which are really popular on Amazon right now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you that watches my videos, and I'll see you again very soon in my next video. Thank you and bye-bye.